A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Smriti Rastogi, and with me today is Mr. Arvind Kumar, AVP, IT Genesis Group, who is a seasoned professional with 21 years of industry experience in IT management, including IT infrastructure, end use computing, business IT operations, business continuity, business process improvement and innovation for various industry verticals like ITs, FNB, retails, QSR, automotives, etc. A very warm welcome, Mr. Arvind Kumar, and I would request you to kindly present your presentation.
Thank you, and thanks for Mint to providing me this opportunity to share my thoughts. Let me present my screen. If I'm Just let me know if you are able to see my screen, please. Hi guys, this is Arvind Kumar. I had Genesis Information System for IT Information and InfoSec team. Today I'm going to present about business acceleration and sustainable growth, but as an individual, not as a representation of the organization. Okay, so definitely when we talk about accelerating sustainable business growth, so first we need to understand what is the business growth is, who are the drivers and what are the drivers behind the business growth. So I'm going to talk on general front, which is I think applicable for all the industries and wherever I worked so far. So if we see, we need to have some ideation, we need to have some plans, then we need to define the strategy, we need to have then sales and marketing team and support business innovations, and then we achieve our goals to become successful. So there is a holistic complete tree. It is not just any branch can work independently, it has to be come together to make this as a family tree or organization tree to achieve our success and the goals. So if I talk about who drive a business growth, let's say as we are talking about the organization tree or a business tree, it starts with the vision, that who has that vision to go forward to. And here in any of the organization, it is the senior management or senior executive team, including your managing directors, CXOs, and they provide the vision to the organization that where we want to go, right? And how we want to go. Then those things being driven down to the middle management as their KRAs and KPIs, they define, they distribute that as a goal to their respective team, to the executive team members. When we talk about the goals, how the goals could be defined, it could be a product of an organization, it could be a service of an organization, then service and product engineering team to work out of the think or out of the box thinking that how a value can be delivered to the end customer. Once the product is ready, it is finalized and it is being qualified for go-to-market strategy, then brand marketing and omnichannels, either it's a digital print media or a print media, physical media. So those branding and marketing has to take place to promote that product or that service. Then actual things comes in place for challenges as an operational excellence about that particular product or service. It should be efficient, deliver on time, has to happen perfectly. Then it comes to supply chain, that how that service is being delivered or that product is being delivered from your organization to your end customer. Then how customer is happy, satisfied, and how he is liking that product or that service delivery, and how he can approach towards organization if he or she is going to have any grievances or any issues with the product or the service. Then nothing, last but not the least, you can say, or it is the thing that every organization must have as a part of their goals in terms of customer data privacy, safety and security of organization and the customer digital assets. But to achieve all these goals perfectly without any problem, we still faces challenges across the organizations. How to do the things differently to leverage the existing resources, because every time, every new service or a new product, you cannot do the designing entirely new. You cannot hire the infrastructure or the manpower absolutely new for that project or that service or that product. You have to utilize the existing environment, existing resources, either it's infrastructure or your manpower or your resources or your raw materials or whatsoever be. So how optimally you can use them. How we can equip our business continuity in terms of in case of any disaster. We faced COVID, we faced strikes, we faced downtimes, we faced fiber cuts, different kind of things. When building is completely off, there is some riots happen, so organization is off. So how we can maintain and can provide the continuous service or the product delivery to our end customers. How we can ensure that whatever things are there, they are secure enough. Our infrastructure is secure, our organization is secure. Physical security, cyber security, infrastructure security, or a data security. So we need to address those challenges as well. How to ensure that organization is up to the pace of the technology. Any technology lasts for 3 years or 4 years of time, or maybe sometime 5 years, 6 years as well, if we talk about in terms of the cloud or in terms of new technologies, you talk about development or any infrastructure or security. But how we are going to keep up with the pace of change, because technology gets changed every 6 months. Do we need to invest on every 6 months on the new technology? Do we need to realize that what is the optimal requirement for us as an organization? Because every organization does have its own decisions or its own processes or its own methods to utilize the infrastructure or the technology or the services in their own way. So keeping the budget alongside how you are going to adapt to those technological change. Foremost and the best and the worst, whatever you would like to think of or you want to say so, end user computing is the most critical part, where your all the challenges or your all deliveries, all development, all innovations comes from. So end user infrastructure has to be robust enough to deliver on time, efficiently, right? Their performance is also required. It should not happen just like right now I am with you guys and my system crashes and I'm talking to you, my mic stops working or my system stops responding. So those kind of challenges also need to be addressed. If your people are on remote, then how we are going to deliver on time? The day employee is joining, they should be able to get the assets and infrastructures with them. How the tools is going to be deployed, how the system is going to be performed when they are having the system in place, and the automation to help monitoring and checking for remote users. Now, these challenges, these goals, we got it, but who and what helps in achieving these goals? We talk about the management organization, so we talk about the people. People are the first key who are going to help us to achieving our goals, okay, our success. If people are not there, they are not able to think out of the box. If they are not thinking out of the box, there is no innovation. So we need all level of the people to be taken care of, who helps us to achieving the goal. It could be manager, architect, designer, builder, or a QA or security guy, or a security professional, or a IT person. Then it comes to a process. When you do out of the box thinking, you need to define or design new processes, new applications, new things, and you need to have the complete new process cycle for that. So you need to have all those phases of a process to be built and to check and to secure. Same way, technology. If we are not having right technology in place for a new process or a new product, then it might fail. So we need to have right kind of a tools and technologies in place. Last but not the least, culture. Again, how we collaborate, how we behave each other, how we communicate each other, how we do the interaction each other. Either it's a peer to peer, or peer to their subordinates, or subordinates to their senior executives. So all those things counts when you are talk about your business goals or business goal achievement, or having a successful organization to maintain their growth. Now, when we talk about our business goals, business growth, and what are the drivers that is required to deliver it up, but we need to understand that our workforce is not located on one location. Thanks to COVID to provide us the facility. However, few of the organizations, especially ITES organizations, were having remote working earlier as well, but for a limited period of time. During COVID, it was completely remote, and now it is under hybrid environment. So we need to understand that how we are going to engage and collaborate each other to deliver innovation, to deliver the new product, new service, new value to the customer. So we need to do a right goal set and clearly define the expectations to the remote workforce, so that they should understand what to be done, how to be done, when to be done, and how it need to be delivered, what quality to be maintained, right? So those kind of things need to be clearly defined and given to them. What continuous learning? So today we are working on one project. It could be a software delivery, it could be a mechanical build, it could be a car in a workshop. If tomorrow something new is coming up, we need to build our skills so that we can perform on new device, new software, new car, or any new service that we are going to deliver. Then it comes as an inclusivity, how we are going to be involved those employees or remote users with us, as in we are in office or we are at other location. So have meetings, have some programs, or have some discussions together, provide inclusivity to them, that they are part of the team, they are not left behind or being separated. If not as in whole, as in head of the functions, or you can say maybe you are a manager, or you are a CIO level or anything, you may have monthly once a meeting with them just to understand what's going on, how it's going on, what does their personal life look like. So let them feel inclusivity. So again, next point is lead by example. So being the senior leaders, we should showcase to them that if we are at remote, how we are delivering, how we are working. However, our job and their job, our subordinates' job, are going to be different. We define the roadmaps, right? We define the strategies. We are still at remote and doing that up. We are monitoring them, watching them, guiding them. So we need to tell them that how it is happening. So they should understand, our superior are still watching and understanding us and providing us the guidelines that how we have to go forward. Now, invest in right technology. As I said earlier, we should provide the right tools to the workforce. It should not happen we are in the middle of something to deliver, but our tools itself is not working, right? Either it's a system, a physical system, or a software that is installed on a system. So both things together has to work perfectly and has to deliver the performance and the efficiency to deliver the right things on right time. And of course, you need to provide a security along with that to assess and maintain the data safety and data privacy for all the time for all users. Now it comes to that we talk about inclusivity and all those things. We talk about investment, we talk about the goals and all. Now, if somebody is delivering very well, then we need to gamify and provide them a contribution, either in terms of monetary, or it could be recognition, it could be cheering up, or it could be providing a promotion kind of a thing, or providing opportunity to lead the team. So we can gamify those kind of innovation or ideas or exceptional deliveries within the team. That if somebody is doing right, we should appraise them within when we are having a meeting all together. If somebody is doing exceptionally bad, we can announce, okay, this much of Amazon voucher or Flipkart voucher or some other voucher is being given to them, so that they understand, yes, somebody is there to look after them and they are recognizing their effort towards business growth. All deliveries are there, all supply chain is there. We have developed the service or a product, we deliver to the customer. But how the things are happening and really working on the ground, we should have analysis or analytics is in place to understand how our customer is working and what kind of a behavior is of that customer, just to understand that where we are going. Is there any change required from customer perspective or our service delivery perspective? Or is there any change is required in the supply chain? Is there a change required in IT infra? Or is there a change required in the processes or operational activities? So we should understand the business goal to design analytics dashboards and insight to support them, where we want to go. Once we decided where we want to go, then we can segment our customers in terms of geographies from where they are, where our product is doing better, where our service is doing better, what kind of an interest our customers are showing, what are their order patterns, what are their preferences, and from where we are getting more profit or from where we are getting more volume, right? So where is our services getting sold more? Where is product is getting sold more? Which product, which service? Have that segmented properly and identify core services and core products for that. Once that is done, then check what are the platforms that require to extract the right data for all these requirements. Or if you need to integrate or interface any other system, or you need to collaborate with third party, or you want to integrate with the public platform, just like social media, to get those metrics and data so that you can have the right analytics in place. Present the data for senior management or people, just simple dashboard, just graphs and charts, or any drill down or click to extend the view, so that people can understand is easily without having any problems or any issue. Just like if you give them the raw data or a tabular data, it is hard to figure out what is there in. So if you give and present the data in readable or viewable format, it gives more clarity at a glance, right? Now, once all these things are done, then those reports, charts, dashboards to be provided to everybody in the organization based on their roles and responsibilities, what they are catering to the organization's growth. It should be a collaborative effort. It should be a decisive effort based on that data towards the organization growth, where what need to be improved, what is doing good, what is not doing good. We need to assess with respect to each functions, and then we have to be collaborate together to figure it out how we can do much better. Then this gives a collaborative structure or the culture within the organization, which helps to provide a growth towards the organization's goals. That's all from my side. If you guys are having any questions, so do let me know.
Wonderful insights on fostering innovation in a collaborative IT culture. Our audience would definitely like to ask a few questions, and here we go. We have two questions for you. First is, what steps can organizations take to gain clearer insights into their operations and customer behavior through the adoption of augmented analytics, and how does this contribute to a more collaborative IT culture?
I have given some of the information in the slide, but more extensively, I can say so that the integration all the available systems within the organization has to be integrated, and data should be centralized where you can run or you can put your analytics on. Raw data does not make any sense to any of the business. If we are having a dashboards driven approach to analyze the data, it could be productive analytics, or it could be, you can say, comprehensive analytics, or you can say contextual analytics based on the business. I'm not saying specifically this has to be done, but based on the business nature and business requirement. uh, as I said in slide also, that we should identify the need, what we are looking for, where we want to go towards to. If I'm looking for customer data, then definitely I need certain customer points or data points where I can pull out the information related to the customer. Maybe some considering the privacies and other things we can anonymize, but we can still use age, we can use economic segment, we can use salary packets or purchase expenses, we can use economy zones, we can use the products, which particular product is being sold, or the service is getting sold, or which particular reason these customers are going to, so that you can focus on those areas to improve better. And wherever it is not working out, then you can focus on that more to improve it further.
Indeed, that was really comprehensive. Arvind, the other question is, what are the principles and practices of responsible technology adoption in alignment with digital ethics, and how can organizations instill these values in their IT culture and decision making processes?
uh, See, all organizations are having some of the other technologies in their part of their life, right? If I talk ethical things, mean I'm having a customer data, or I am having my organization employee data, I should not misuse it as an IT leader. I need to maintain ethical baseline, and you can say uh, draw a line where I cannot abuse or expose that data to anybody, not even to myself, right? So those kind of ethics we need to maintain it within the organization. How we are going to drive that value towards the economic growth of the organization with the help of the analytics is, we should anonymize that data. We should not expose that data, what that data is, and then run analytics on top of it. As far as the technology innovation is concerned, use the SaaS services, use the cloud services, rather than you are using a legacy static data kind of a technology where we are going to build our own things. It is better to use already proven services from the cloud service providers. Use those environments. Do those things where a value is being delivered to the customer, rather than we build something and we propose it as a solution. That doesn't work out. What is the customer is looking for as a value, we should deliver that kind of a thing. So we need to have our thought processes, technologies, and the service and the solutions towards the delivering the value, rather than just a product or a service.
Thank you so much, Arvind, for helping us in giving those valuable insights and takeaways from on that very important topic. And thank you to everyone for joining us in this wonderful discussion today, which we had. We would continue to get you more such informative workshops on accelerating sustainable business growth. Thank you once again, and stay tuned.
Thank you.
Well, in a world where adaptability is paramount, the ability to harness technology in empowering remote workforces isn't just a competitive advantage, it's a strategic imperative. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Smriti Rastogi, and I have with me Mr. Dinesh Chandrasekharan, Director, Commercial Business, Lenovo India, as we navigate the remote work landscape, fostering a culture of collaboration, productivity, and innovation through the effective use of technology. Over to you, Mr. Chandrasekharan.
Hey, thanks, Niti. Uh, uh, Good morning, everybody. I'm sure all of you have taken time off to join this tech vision on accelerating sustainable business growths. So over the next 7 to 10 minutes, I will not take a lot of time. Over the next 7 to 10 minutes, I'll spend time in running you through about Lenovo in India, Lenovo globally, and what is primarily our portfolio, and then we'll open it up for question and answers as per the format. So we can start the slides. Our presence in India and global is what we cover in this slide. We are a $1.9 billion company in the country. Number two in PC from a share standpoint. Number three in the infrastructure group, which is the server and the storage standpoint. We have three manufacturing sites in India, and we make close to about 5 million units of made in India products within the country. That's primarily our story in the country. Going to global, we are a $62 billion company. We are the number one PC brand globally. We are recognized as number eight in supply chain from by Gartner in 2023. Again, recognized as the most innovative company, as number 24 most innovative company by BCG. We have 30 plus manufacturing sites and we operate in about 180 markets globally and R&D locations in about 18 locations. That's principally about us, Lenovo in India as well as globally. We can move to the next slide, Shan. Yeah, so this is something where I would take a couple of minutes. As all of us know, we are the fifth largest economy today, and we are expecting ourselves to be number three by 2030. Less than 35 years, 65% of our population is less than 35 years, very young nation. We have 107 startup unicorns. So this is so, and obviously there is a digital India drive that's happening within the country. So I'll take about 2 minutes to cover this. One is from a MSME standpoint, we have close to about 69 million MSME, which are traditional MSMEs, and these are apart from the new age startups. Right, now, the new age startups is adapting digitalization very rapidly. They are taking digital tools. They are operating on digital tools for their payments, for their inventory management, for their CRM, for their accounting. One more thing that is happening from a digital standpoint, from at least the startups and from the MSME standpoint, is the huge growth in online in our country is where all the new age startups are developing their own e-com sites for them to be able to reach their customers better. And some of them who don't have their own e-com sites, they are operating out of marketplaces for them to reach their customer in a better way. Go back to the previous slide, please. I'm still in the previous slide. Yeah. So I was covering the digitalization part from the last block that you see here. So the huge digitalization happening, new age startups adapting digitalization, and that is, and also the government drive on digitalization from a MSME standpoint. These are huge things that is happening from a technology standpoint in particularly the MSME sector. Let's move to the next slide, please. Yeah, so these are things that is any IT departments or a CIO's challenge today in any organization, which is evolving customer challenges, changing ecosystem, and obviously the government interventions, right? Now, from Lenovo standpoint, as I said, about 3 to 4 years back, we were recognized as a PC company. We were primarily a PC company which was selling laptops, notebooks, workstations, tablets. We were primarily a client company or what you call a IDG company. But what I said, in the last 4 years, we have transformed ourselves into a solution company. So we are more or less there in solutions across services, across ISG, and across the product. From a product standpoint, I think we have the best product in Think. From a commercial standpoint, I think nothing to beat the Think product. From a ThinkPad or that is the best commercial laptop that you would see in the market. So as I said, across the solutions we are present today, from both from an IDG standpoint, which is your PCs, from an ISG standpoint, which is your server and storage, and from an SSG standpoint, which is a services and software group. Primarily, I feel any IT department's challenge today is primarily three things, which is procurement, which is deployment, and management. Three things, and Lenovo can provide solutions across all the three things. That's pretty much what is there in this slide that I would like to cover in short. We can move to the next slide, please. Yeah, so as I said, this part is already covered. We are there across solutions from smart devices, which is PC, tablet, smartphones, from across from to IoT to scenario-based solutions. We also do customized solutions for the customer as per their needs and as per their budget constraints. So as I said, this we are there across products. We can do customized solutions. We can do infra as per their legacy infra. We can suggest them what they have to do. We can do consultancy services where we can consult as per their current infra, their budgets, and their future projections, and give them a reliable solution which can help them in their sustainable growths. We can move to the next slide, please. Yeah, this is more or less, as I said, across the solutions, we are there. We are there in support services, managed services, and project service and solutions. In the Q&A part, my SSG person, who's an expert on this, will can take answers on this. But as I said, primarily this slide covers that we are there across solutions in services, from starting from tied services to non-tied services. Our true scale, which is an as a service from an ISG standpoint, or DAS, which is an as a service from an IDG standpoint. Today the world is embracing the as a service transformation, where a lot of customers are moving from a capex model to an opex model. So we are there across these solutions, and we can give you the right solution for your organization. You can move to the next slide. This is from a sustainable future for all. Lenovo is very particular about this. 1 million tons of GST to be removed from our supply chain by 2025. We are on for that. 100% by 2025. Lenovo aims to have a PC product which contains a recycled or a plastic-free packaging, and first PC and smartphone maker out of the 139 companies with a net zero target. So this we are the first company out of the 139 companies. Our Lenovo C2 offset, our customers have offset more than 1 million metric tons of CO2 from our Think PCs, from just because of this CO2 offset services. And asset recovery services, which is the ARS, which means less than 1% of devices will go to the landfill. These are very important things that Lenovo follows from a sustainable future for all standpoint. Let's move to the next slide, please. I think that's pretty much what I had to cover in the short 7-10 minutes.
So, Mr. Chandrasekharan, I think that was very well explained, and a lot of insights into how it helped us navigate through that very, I would say, a very important and a very contemporary situation, and a very contemporary needs that Lenovo is catering. We have a few questions from the audience as well, Mr. Chandrasekharan. I would request you to kindly take up those questions also.
So we have Tarandeep, I think, from our SSG team. If there is any SSG related questions, I would request her to take that up. Or any questions
Right.
which can come up. Yeah. So whatever I can take up right now, I can take up. If I have to come back,
Right.
I will surely come back. Yeah.
So the first question is, how does the procurement of hardware assets with the right configuration, such as laptop monitors and ergonomic accessories, contribute to the overall well-being and effectiveness of remote employees?
Yes. So today, I mean, over the last 3 years, things have changed from a hybrid standpoint. People have been working from home. People have been working from offices sometimes, right? So what has happened from a PC standpoint is, 3 years back, probably we were working only with a PC, which is probably a laptop or a desktop. Today we have the complete ecosystem around it. Can you guys hear me? Yeah,
Absolutely.
today we have a complete ecosystem which goes around it, right? Today we have a PC. If I have to work from home, if some of your employees have to work from home, they need to be provided with the complete ecosystem, be it a laptop, be it a headset, be it a TFT or a monitor with a large screen where they can see, and obviously there, as I said, the headsets, the accessories like keyboard, mouse, and obviously the speakers. So there is a whole set of ecosystem which goes around PC today, which was probably not the case about 3 to 4 years back. And as long as we can go sustain this from a hybrid standpoint, I mean, uh, things should go well. Yeah.
And post-COVID scenario, I think this has given a lot of fillip also to the hybrid mode and how this can be more effectively. Uh, this can be more effective. What do you suggest,
Yeah,
Taran?
so it's been a nightmare for the IT departments and the CIOs over the last 3 4 years, right? I mean, they have to juggle a lot between people joining in. Initially, 3 4 years back, people used to join in the on site within the organization. They used to come to the office and join in. Today, that is not the case. People join in from different remote locations. Their laptops are sent from their head offices to their respective locations or whatsoever. So it's been a nightmare for IT companies to manage people who are joining in and also manage people who are leaving, right? So from that standpoint, things have moved a lot over the last 3 4 years. 3 4 years, probably 4 years back, I'm not too sure if all of us would have been in a Zoom call like this, right? We'd have probably been in a conference call where we would have dialed in some numbers and probably been in a conference call. That was a state even in our offices 4 years back, 5 years back, right? Today, after post COVID, we have Zoom calls coming in where we have not. I mean, it doesn't really care, Smriti, where you are, where I am, and where the other audiences are, but all of us are together in a video. And things have moved over the last 3 4 years, yes, and technology has developed us move there.
I think we have lost your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better. But I think that was a complete gist of my question, which I had put across. The other question which I've got is how can businesses strike a balance between ensuring proper security and data privacy for remote workforces while also promoting user friendly remote access solutions?
Yeah, first thing is I need the businesses need to assess what their current infra is, right? And they have to assess their current infra and figure out where is it that they want increased efficiency or where is it they have their bottlenecks. And once that is assessed, I mean, all of us are in an era where we need to embrace scalability, right? I mean, and Lenovo has a wide spread of both hardware and software scalability solutions. The idea is absolutely not to overhaul the complete infra. The idea is to probably select the right infra which gets into your scheme of things, or which gets into your environment in a very right way. That's one thing. And the third thing that I would like to call out is our virtualization solutions. Our virtualization, Lenovo's virtualization solutions helps customers optimize resource utilization. The second thing that it does is it reduces hardware costs, and the third thing that it does is enhanced scalability. Now, coming to security, which was your focus area in your questions, we have a wide range of security solutions as well, right? We provide security solutions from encryption to a endpoint security, and until the last mile to the normal security updates that you get. So we have a wide scale of security solutions as well. And mind you, all of this has to happen with the minimum downtime, right? I would not say zero downtime, with obviously the bare minimum downtime. That is what all the organizations today expect. And that is when I say that we have solutions across this, and we should be able to help our customers get to what they expect to be.
Right,
I
right.
hope
Well,
I'm
thank you.
I'm audible.
No, no, absolutely, you were audible and you made your point very correctly also. And I think it was indeed a pleasure understanding those very important insights. And thank you so much, Taran. Thank you so much, Mr. Chandrasekharan. And thank you so much, everyone, for your engagement, your curiosity, and your commitment to embracing the possibilities of remote work technology. Let's move forward with confidence, armed with insights gained here to forge a future where distance is no longer a barrier to productivity. Collaboration knows no bound, and our workforce stands united, empowered, and ready to share the world of work on their terms. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the room 3 in another 5 minutes. Thank you so much once again. And foundations. She has developed several business systems under business transformation and spearheaded business risk management for operations in multiple countries, including Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and Japan. Currently, she runs 3 businesses, leveraging experience and expertise from these large corporates to help small and medium enterprises across the country over the last decade. As the founder, director, and COO of India SME Accelerator Network, a business growth accelerator for MSMEs in India, she has been catalyzing the growth journey of thousands of MSMEs over the years through digital transformation, access to finance, access to markets, and strategic growth of businesses. So let's embark on this journey of exploration together, diving into the realms of creativity, collaboration, and technological advancements. Over to you, Shalini.
Thank you very much for that rather very generous introduction, I'd say. It's a pleasure coming back and meeting MSMEs on this platform. Thanks a lot to HT Mint and Lenovo partners who made this possible. And you've given me a rather interesting topic, I must say. Fostering innovation in a collaborative IT culture. There's a lot that this topic can actually hold, and I've been given 30 minutes. I'm going to try and do some good justice to this time on hand. Let me just quickly bring up my presentation, please. A quick check. Can you see my screen? Can you hear me?
Absolutely, Shalini.
Great. Thank you very much. I'd like to begin the session on fostering innovation in a collaborative IT culture. There are essentially 2 aspects to this entire topic that we're going to try and drive home today between the SMEs who are present. One part essentially, which is around innovation. This is a word we all like using, right? Innovation, and it's been doing the buzzword for a very, very long time, not just for large corporates and not just for startups, but the middle segment that is most impacted and is most relevant in making a difference with innovation, that is the small and medium enterprise. If you really look at statistics, and you must have seen a lot on technology that's already happened in the prior session, so deriving from that also, if you notice within the MSME sector in India in particular, 1 out of 3 MSMEs in India are currently deploying innovation in their business. So that does speak of something. There is something that's working well, and there is something that is yet to do well for MSMEs. So let's try to understand this entire picture on what is innovation that we're talking about. So innovation, apart from the words like robotics, AI, ML, IoT, which sometimes can be a little daunting for MSME owners, let's keep it very simple and try to understand. Innovation is nothing but a product, service, or a business model that is being done in a novel and a useful way. So innovation does not have to be something major. It doesn't have to be a big breakthrough in technology or completely disruptive alone, but it can be as simple as upgrading a company's customer service, upgrading an existing product, upgrading how you operate on your model itself. It can be as simple, and it has multiple layers and levels to it. So in short, innovation is implementing new ideas that are creating value to the business. So on that note, let's try to understand why is this becoming important for MSMEs and how should MSMEs really leverage this, right? So if you look at innovation in particular from the lens of a small business, it does some fantastic things for an MSME. The first and foremost is a small business needs to, thrive in a large landscape of which is global and getting more and more global. So it allows you to adapt to the trends in the market. It allows you to, be nimble and change as you go along in a dynamic business environment. So it allows adaptability. Second, what it does to small businesses keeps them on the cutting edge with making you more and more competitive to stay ahead of competition, to keep in pace. So SMEs who are OEMs to large corporates will understand what I'm talking about. So it allows you to, be competitive in the market, both domestically as well as globally. And third important, aspect is definitely it fosters growth. And that's the reason why a business is interested in it at the end of the day, because all that we do has to result in good growth. So this is something that McKinsey has found through their research. Despite knowing this, and despite the fact that innovation is so important, and all of us realize that, it's found that organizations deprioritize innovation in favor of holding on to core business, and waiting till there is more clarity. Strange, but that is the dichotomy. I mean, that is the issue, because we understand that is important. At the same time, it does somewhere delay the progress, delay the speed of organization when it comes to adopting innovative methods. And I think it's time where we're not talking of either technology or innovation as something good, to do, as something that will make you look better than a competition. But it is the need of the hour. It is a lot more than the need of the hour. It is something. It's as good as oxygen to the body is innovation to a enterprise, especially in the small and medium space. So, given that, it is more and more imperative to start adopting innovation. And that's where, Jack Welch, the CEO of GE, said, change before you have to. It's a question of survival. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, wait a minute, the world is a different place. You no more have a choice. It's a question of survival. So, we have to find ways and methods to bring in innovation into the DNA of the organization in a way that it doesn't really, make it a difficult and additional task that one has to take on as a promoter and owner of a growing organization. So at this point, it's really important to understand why is it so difficult for SMEs, and let's understand the real challenges. Yeah, there are several challenges that actually come up in front of a small business when they're trying to be nimble and be flexible with adoption of technology, especially innovation when we talk about. And if I were to ask you, most of you would say, oh, it's resources, it's finance. Some of you would say, oh, no, I think it's manpower. It's skilled manpower, don't you think? Because we don't have people who understand. And some of you may say, oh, I don't think we have the wherewithal. So here are a few reasons that people really have given. And the reality shows, when you survey small businesses, one of the reality shows that there is a syndrome called the status quo syndrome, where people are more comfortable doing things the way they're doing, and looking at something new, saying, oh, why do I have to change what I'm doing already? If it's working fine, it's been working fine for so many years. Why do I need to bring about a change suddenly now? Chalne do. This kind of a status quo syndrome is something that keeps a lot of businesses going, and that's just one reason they're not, moving a different way. Another set of data points out to the fact where the owner says, I'm technologically challenged. And trust me, this is a very big factor when it comes to innovation. I've seen a lot of enterprises that have actually hired good CTOs, CIOs, and some of you would be here in the participants as well, and you can resonate with what I'm saying. You have enterprises that have kind of tried to build an IT department or IT resource in the company, so to say, yet they are not able to do justice to the role. They're not able to do justice to the function. They're not able to do enough justice to the investment in that entire function, because the owner promoter is somewhere technologically challenged and is unable to appreciate and visualize what's coming forward with a technological advancement or an innovative idea that is being brought forward. This is very powerful, sad but true. Another area that comes out as data is the fear of unknown. And this I say collectively for an enterprise, not just for the owner, but it's actually the fear of the unknown for the organization as a whole, saying, oh, we don't know how this is going to be, we don't know how this might land up. So why take a chance? This also leads to the second important point, which data points to, is the fear of failure. By fear of failure, we refer to enterprises who have burnt their fingers by trying to take on something new, by trying to do something new, and have not succeeded. So typically it's like, I have made changes, I have gone ahead and done something, it's not worked well for us, we don't want to do this again. So this is a big deterrent to innovation, this is a big deterrent to doing something different. And if you really look at all these points that we're talking about right now, there is a certain common theme that is emerging from all of this. And it would collectively refer to, what is the mindset of the entrepreneur or the promoter. So collectively, data is suggesting that the biggest hurdle and deterrent to innovation happening in the small and medium enterprise segment as a whole is nothing but the mindset of the entrepreneur, despite several other factors which also exist. But this is emerging as one of the top most. And to help you a little bit on this, I'd like to give you a comparative parlance. I don't know if some of you here have read the book called The Mindset of a Rocket Scientist. So with ISRO in right in the middle of news and everybody seeing the launch of Chandrayaan 3, etc. If you were to really think about how they function, imagine if they function with this mindset, where would we land? Nowhere close to the moon. So this mindset, it's an interesting book. I suggest you all read. It's by Ozan Barol, author. What it basically says is that if you are to look at the various aspects of what we deal with as a business entrepreneur, and I'm going to just use 4 quadrants that are typically used, which is the known known, the known unknown, the unknown known, and the unknown unknown. So if you look at these 4 quadrants typically, he suggests that we as entrepreneurs, and typically the rocket scientists, operate in the zone of the unknown known, which means we are really operating in a zone where we're saying that we know there is something out there. We don't know enough about it, but we are, heading for it. And that's the power of that entire perspective, which the mindset of an entrepreneur should operate like a rocket scientist. When you do that as an entrepreneur, you're essentially telling your business, you're essentially setting the stage for your business to be able to do things that can change the way you as a business operate. Because that mindset is unleashing a lot more by removing the inherent fear from you as an entrepreneur and therefore the culture of the organization. The entire culture of your organization is a reasonable representation of the owner promoter himself or herself. So I would really urge you to dwell a little more on this particular aspect, because the mindset of an entrepreneur is extremely powerful. So with that having said, and Steve Jobs also saying innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. So who do you want to be is a choice that we need to make when it comes to driving a small and medium enterprise that is really looking for exponential growth, that is really looking to become a mid-market enterprise and then a large corporate for the country. So these are some evident benefits of what innovation can do. So innovation, end of the day, drives growth. And in what way? So firstly, innovation is, bringing in new ideas, it's bringing new technology, systems, efficiencies and processes that are developed and applied and deployed into business. These can result largely into enhanced productivity, which is innovation leading to increased productivity in terms of the tonnage, in terms of the efficiency of the manpower on ground, whether you're in the services sector or whether you're in the manufacturing sector. It develops, systems and processes that lead to greater output. So with the same input, and that is where the efficiency comes in. That is where the productivity comes in for a business. And all of this eventually leads into better growth. So your top line is improving when you're deploying successful innovations. So there are more processes and systems which are in place to back up the increased goods and services that you're producing. And it attracts better talent, leading to better business at the top line. With an enhanced top line, you're also talking of enhanced bottom line, which is the profitability. So there is a growth in business and of operations, and which is leading to better profitability when it is deployed successfully, deployed systematically, and deployed well. So innovation has multiple facets to it to lead to good growth and profitability. One is, of course, the idea alone, and second is the deployment, and the third is ability to adapt the innovation to what the market needs and what the business needs. So when you do all of these aspects well, then the business growth and profitability become more and more evident. So with this, let's try to understand what are the various categories of innovation that a business typically guns for or can look towards. So there are two standard categories that people talk of, and I've just brought that forward here for you. One is the aspect of, so if you look at the graph with performance on one axis and time on the other axis, you have certain innovations that are disruptive, definitely using certain technology and new ways to disrupt the market from where you are, moving into a completely different paradigm of business that you're operating in. And second, category is the one that's called sustaining innovation. So by that, what we mean is leveraging technology and advances to sustain existing markets, existing set of operations that you're doing. You're optimizing, you are improvising, and you're able to deliver more and better. So these are doing two different, jobs for you as an enterprise, and the role that they play are distinct. So when we think of innovation, most often we're talking of disruptive innovation. The articles that we tend to read, most often are about disruptive innovation because it's kind of a game changer. It's taking you from one level to another. The other one, which is sustaining innovation, is helping you sustain and continuously staying abreast and updated in the market when it means competing in the marketplaces that are dynamically changing, right? So this is on sustenance. So if somebody is to ask you, where would you put the money and where would you go for innovation if you were to make choices? Most people would talk of disruptive innovation. But I would recommend that you need to do both as an enterprise. It's important to be disruptive. At the same time, it's important to sustain what you're doing good. And you need innovation to sustain what you're doing good because times change, but your solutions cannot remain outdated. So you need a good play of sustaining innovation on one hand and a good play of disruptive innovation coming in time to time within your business so that you are able to have an interplay of both of these for continuous evolution and continuous enhancement and continuous transformation of the enterprise. So I'd really urge CIOs and CTOs here, as well as promoters here, to try and embed this philosophy well within your business, where you're bringing in sustaining innovation as well as disruptive innovation into the very objective of how you are designing your business goals. So when you sit down at the start of the year and set out business goals, how many of you are able to bring this onto the table and put it into the objectives? That could be a defining factor as to how you will deploy innovation into your businesses through the year to achieve your goals and also define newer goals for yourself through the year. So with that, I think I'd like to move to another important aspect, of innovation leading into the culture of the organization, which is the second part of what we're talking of. So what do we mean by culture? There's a culture in every organization. So each organization is talking to us in return with its own way, with its own method. So it has a certain personality or DNA of its own, right? So, what is the culture of an organization that you possess? So, if you really think back and look at it, what is culture? It's essentially nothing but a set of or a collection of values, collection of behaviors, expectations, attitudes, and practices that are really deployed on ground within the organization. So each of your culture is saying something today. So you might need to reassess and see what is the culture of my organization. Some good corporate enterprises at this point of time in the SME segment are also working extensively on the culture of the organization, where not just the human resource team is working on it, but there's also the IT team working on it, right? So I'd urge more and more entrepreneurs to engage on this topic a little more, in depth, so that you are able to define the culture of your organization. And here are a few things you might want to think when you are defining a culture that's going to be suitable for nurturing innovation. Yeah. So typically, the when it comes to IT in a organization culture standpoint, uh, people have typecasted the cultures into four categories. So you can think through and see where do you fit, where is the culture of your organization currently. So the first of the four categories is the one that's called conservative. So in a typical conservative IT culture, what really happens is the top leaders see technology as an expense to minimize, and in turn they have the IT department maximize the use of technology they have. So there is a tech department that's deployed, say, get the utmost value of the technology investments I'm making. So these are organizations that have a conservative IT culture where employees use laptops and desktops for 6 to 10 years continuously without changing them, and they will replace them only when they break. So that's a tendency we've seen. They also, because they want to reduce cost and yet they want to maintain a competitive advantage. So leaders in, or let's say the promoters in a conservative IT culture, focus on creating business efficiency by creating and improving repeatable processes. So where they will try to innovate is say, okay, what is repeating? Let's try to change that and try to bring in efficiency there. So this is the kind of disruption at best that they're able to do within their business, because they're fundamentally conservative in nature, and because they're also very cost conscious. They tend to have systems that are at best, systems and processes and technology at best, that will bring in cost efficiency somewhere and will bring in significant change in profitability. So these are some of the traits that you would notice in a conservative technology culture. You might want to think and be honest with yourself if you are actually slotting out there. Amongst the SMEs that we have spoken to, at least 1,000 of them, we have noticed that close to 70% to 75% sit in this bucket at this point of time, where they are in a conservative IT culture. The second nature and culture, IT culture, that is found is one that's moderate. And we're glad that more and more people have moved into this segment. I would say more since COVID, right? People have moved into this where they're realizing the role of innovation that has to be driven, but they are very conscious of the advantage that is going to come out of this. So while they prioritize cost management, occasionally they will invest in new technology. They will invest in new technology, but with a moderate culture, they will invest in automation only if it reduces, directly if it brings in cost in a short term. So if there is an ROI in the investment of technology, or if there is an ROI in the innovation that they are bringing about in whichever method, they will be very keen to see if the ROI is coming back in a year's time. And that's when they will be willing to make that investment. So they are definitely a moderate in that sense in culture. So you will see a lot of service firms, which industries tend to be moderate are services firms, who will typically tend to sit in this bucket of a moderate IT culture. The next type is the type which is called as aggressive IT culture. So you may want to check yourself on this one if you belong here. So let's see what are some of the characteristics of enterprises that sit in the aggressive IT culture, where they categorize technology spending as a key to moving forward. So they say that we have to invest in technology, we have to invest in latest systems and processes, latest laptops, latest cloud systems, latest AI that's available in the market that we can deploy, the latest of machine learning available enough to deploy in our factories, latest software that's available to deploy, whether it's in quality processes or on the customer service front. Let's go ahead and deploy. They believe in adding automation which frees up people. So their approach is to say, how can I free up my productivity of people so that they who are doing low value work can now start doing high value work. So I'm optimizing my resources by deploying technology. Although they are willing to deploy developing technologies and developing systems and newer innovative processes, they will not invest in something purely based on hype or saying this is the happening thing, so let's go in for it. These are leaders in aggressive IT culture who will investigate technology for what business advantage it will give them, and then they would deploy those technologies and innovative solutions in their business. So to that extent, they are aggressive. At the same time, they are careful. So definitely they would be interested in looking at the benefit, because they also see technology as an advantage not just for business processes and for keeping it forward in competition. They also see it justifying the regulatory frameworks, the compliance requirements that are needed to stay ahead, and therefore they believe in technology and innovation. The last, of course, is the IT culture, which is called the leading edge culture. Characteristics of this, and you can see these companies stand apart. So these are cultures where technology spend is not looked at as a spend. It's looked at as an investment purely because they understand, they see technology as a business driver and they see innovation equally as a business driver. So they're less worried about processes, optimization, they're less worried about costs, but knowing that they know they will figure it out, how to get it, with time. So they will figure it out with time. They are, in that sense, extremely aggressive about deploying technology because they see purpose. They see that they're going to become cutting edge. They see a larger vision with the deployment of the innovation and technology we're talking about. So these are a set of companies. So who would these companies be? What are the kind of industries where you would see? These are fundamentally, SME enterprises which are tech driven and are, completely based on technology as the backbone to their entire business process. They are the ones who will definitely, go ahead in a cultural mode, which is leading edge IT culture. So with that, for IT cultures defined, I'd like to come to my favorite, which I call the collaborative culture for innovation. So this is the culture where technology, people, and processes come together to deliver innovation in a way that is complete value creation for business, which is both disruptive at the same time sustaining. It meets both business goals through the culture. So the interesting question is, yes, I think most of us would want to be, in this kind of an IT culture, which is fostering innovation, which is nurturing innovation in the long run on both types of innovations, which is sustaining innovation as well as disruptive innovation. So let's try to understand what are the few things that one needs to do to be in this kind of an IT culture. Few simple steps, and we'll go, one by one, things that you need to do as a business owner. The first and foremost for a business owner is to be able to embrace innovation and creativity. What do I mean by this? You need to start looking at innovation and creativity as a catalyst to your business, right? The moment you look at it as a catalyst, it's going to change the entire way you're going to operate in business. It's going to change the way you structure your teams, you structure your organization, you structure your business goals. All of that will change the moment you start looking at innovation and creativity as catalysts for your business. This means that you would need to start not just encouraging your employees to cultivate and come up with new ideas, but you'll have to start building creativity as a competence amongst the people, and you'll have to ensure that you're working towards that as an HR goal. But beyond that, you'll have to start deploying systems and processes which are technology based within your organization. So it is both, in terms of technology, people, and processes, all of them you will have to embrace by making innovation and creativity as a catalyst for growth. And this will have to be in all the functions within the business, be it in sales, in the way you are reaching out to your customers, to, how do you market yourselves with the latest uh, technology platforms and social media, to how do you really produce using industry 4.0 benchmarks of smart manufacturing, to going all the way to deploying logistics, that is geo based logistics, to managing your inventory and books of accounts on cloud, and so on and so forth. So this is truly one of the things that one would need to do in terms of embracing innovation and creativity as number one. Number two, I would say, is forming collaborative teams. And to be able to do this, so by collaborative teams, we're talking about having people come across from different, backgrounds into teams that can work together, particularly on innovation. We have seen several SMEs who have deployed you more than R&D teams. You can call them your brain cell. You can call them the think tank within your company. There are different names that people like to give themselves, but this is a set of people from within the company who will sit down, put their brains together, and collaborate to come up with newer ideas. To be able to do this as a business owner and a promoter, you have to enable them with the latest technology to do that. So I do not know how many businesses here are using intranet or collaborative platforms on their laptops and mobile beyond WhatsApp, right? Especially when it comes to using platforms where you can share knowledge with each other, where you can share case studies of customers with each other, where you can share best practices with each other, where you can share success of one team with another on doing something new. So you need to have either a physical format where people are coming together, let's say weekly, monthly, into a meeting room and thinking through, or when you're working across geographies where people are spread across the country, across the globe, you need to have a technology platform that brings them together, where they're able to ideate, where they're able to share, where they're able to think through, come up with pros and cons, and then deploy, see how it's working, what is working well, and how do you keep adapting. All of this requires the best of infrastructure, best of processes to build a collaborative team. To add a little bit more to the kind of collaborative teams that you would come up with is to build diversity in these teams. And I've seen that the best well-intended SMEs falter here, because the tendency is to say, I have a cell team, which is working on R&D, which is working on new product development, and but that's the team, that's the product team. Where are we hearing from the sales team? Where are we hearing from the logistics team? Where are we hearing from the inventory team? Where are we hearing from the factory team? Unless they're able to give you the inputs, your R&D team in silos will not be able to innovate with something. So it's very important when we build the innovation segment and we build these diverse groups, the collaboration has to be from people not just from cross-functional teams, but also from different backgrounds. So we recommend that people have some really different mindset coming in, people of different age group. So if the age group of people who are working on the team is, let's say, your leadership team, you need to have people from the bottom of the pyramid of the organization who are youngies, geeks, non-geeks, but they are the ones who are actually front-ending. Bring them into the team. So diversity can come with age, diversity can come with gender, diversity can come with geography. So a lot of people bring in the exposure as a big factor and say that people who have the highest education, best education go into these teams. But then who are left behind are the tier 3, tier 4 kind of employees in the organization who have a very different thinking and mindset to bring in to talk about innovation. Their innovation can be as simple as improving customer experience on the phone. It can be as simple as enhancing the delivery time of your product to the customer in a B2B segment. They can bring in the simplest of ideas to innovate on reducing cost on the shop floor when you're packing material from raw material from semi-finished goods to the finished goods stage. These are places where we have seen some extremely innovative ideas come from the unexpected set of employees in the organization, and those innovations have significantly added value to the organization, both in terms of profitability and in terms of revenue. And sometimes we've also seen them come up with ideas which is completely disrupting the market and taking you to the next league of how you operate in the industry as a whole, and therefore you've gone ahead of competition. So diversity in the teams is extremely important for you to ensure within your organization. The next important point that I'd like to cover is around creative autonomy. This has repeatedly been an issue in small and medium businesses in India. And I'd say this for the reason that most of the owners are somewhere very controlling of the organization. So everything comes down and stops with the owner becoming the bottleneck. And again, it comes back to the mindset issue of the entrepreneur. No matter how many, well-employed people exist in the system, how much ever you invested in the right set of CIOs and CTOs, if we are not empowering them with the autonomy to take decisions on the go, to be able to, try out innovative methods and practices, if we are not giving them the autonomy to experiment, when will they fail and when will they do it right? So, for somebody to fail and succeed, it's very important to give them the autonomy, and therefore the decision making power of the entrepreneur has to enhance to give the creative autonomy. I think this is one of the interesting aspects of innovation in IT culture, and which people keep doing. And I would request and I would actually urge more and more companies to invest their time and effort doing this, which is continuous market study. What you're essentially doing here is on the go, on the run, keeping an eye on the competition, keeping an eye on the industry trends, keeping an eye, keeping yourself abreast of the latest technology developments coming in the way, not just in your industry, but in allied industries as well. And this continuous know-how of you as the promoter as well as your leadership teams goes a long way in giving you information well in advance as to what's coming your way to your enterprise. Many enterprises have actually fallen behind and subsequently perished because they did not invest their time and effort here. Most innovations actually come out from here because you know your competition is lacking somewhere and you want to get the cutting edge on the competition, and therefore you innovate for what is lacking in competition, as an example. Many innovations come out from here when you understand that the real problem that your customer is facing is X, and you are actually fixing Y through your product. And if you manage to fix X, then your X and Y will exponentially give you returns with the customer. These are things, these are inputs that will come out with a continuous market study, and you need to invest your effort with the diverse teams and collaborative teams that we spoke about in working with the market continually to give you the inputs so that the R&D team and the tech team and the manufacturing teams can collectively come up with solutions that can take you to the next edge in leveraging your innovations. And last but not the least, of course, is the creativity in leadership, which is you. It's all about you. So, how do you harness you being the example for your entire enterprise in fostering innovation? So, first and foremost, is the tone that you set in the leadership meetings, in your annual meetings, in your monthly meetings, in your review meetings, as often as you get to engage with your people. Second is to operate on strengths and skills of the team members. So essentially, identifying the right people who can be part of these collaborative joint efforts, and then giving them the comfort, an environment of comfort for them to share their ideas, where they feel comfortable that, yes, if I share this idea and it goes wrong, then I'm not going to be penalized. That comfort has to be given by you, because if they don't feel comfortable about failing, they will never try. So, giving them the chance to experiment is from the environment of comfort that you will share with them. Of course, all of this ideation has to fructify into systems and processes enabled by you, which will result with deployment of the innovation. So, providing them all of that is something that you have to continually invest in, which would mean money and also in terms of time. So, being a part of making it a part of the goal of the leadership team. So, I do not know how many enterprises here have done this, but I truly urge you to start putting these into the key result areas and objective of the business for the year, and therefore the goal sheets of the leadership teams. Every year, we recommend that enterprises add one innovation from each leader, and that drills down all the way in the leadership hierarchy to the functional teams, and the collaborative teams that are set have to be continuously on the go. So they have to work on this objective. So, with this, a continuous culture of improvement will be set. And on that note, I'd like to come to the concluding slide from my side, which is, when you nurture an innovation led culture, you're collectively understanding problems, you're collaboratively executing the innovation and celebrating failures, but of course, tracking the impact to your business growth with all of this. And this leads to increased employee engagement, enhanced teamwork, new and improved processes, definitely new products and services with new ways of thinking, and a constant pipeline of ideas that you have the advantage and you have the lever to deploy whenever you think they are appropriate for the market. So, there is a lot of food for thought that would come out of this, and I hope that you would benefit from these innovative culture that you will build within your organizations. With that, I'm open to question and answers.
Thank you so much, Shalini. It was indeed a very insightful presentation with a lot of takeaways, but I'm afraid we have overshot the time limit. So there are two questions. I would request you to briefly answer them as there is another session which is coming up. So the first question which we have come across is what are the principles and practices of responsible technology adoption in alignment with digital ethics, and how can organization instill these values in their IT culture and decision making processes?
Wow. So that's a long question. I'll try to pick up. I think when it comes to ethics, there is a lot that can be said. But I think the most important is the way you deal with the entire innovation and the data that goes behind it, right? So when you're driving any kind of technological advancement, the piece on data privacy, and there is a law also coming ahead, and you might have touched upon this in some other sessions. So people have to be aware of how they are dealing with it, and therefore whatever you do represents the ethics of the business. So I urge that you don't cross the line anywhere as businesses in trying to do something disruptive and different. Yeah.
Right. So another audience question which we have got is how can small and medium-sized businesses leverage tech advancements like AI to streamline processes, enhance efficiency while fostering a culture of innovation within their terms?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I can give you an example of how one can do this in their business, and small and medium businesses of varying kinds are doing this today. So, the simplest form of AI deployment is in factory-based manufacturing, where you have an assembly line. Enterprises are deploying camera based vision to detect quality of the products. So, whether you're manufacturing shoe or you're manufacturing jewelry on the line, you're able to see the detects on the go through camera vision. What that does is it gives you, it preempts you to be able to correct the error on the production line. It preempts you to take the decision and the action so that you're delivering higher quality products back to your customers. It not only enhances your brand reputation and your service delivery, but also it gives you data. It gives you the ability to say what's my production efficiency, and where are the errors that I need to rectify. So AI is able to generate that with the data that you feed in on the production line. So Industry 4.0 is a classic example of how AI and ML both are being continuously deployed by SMEs in the country.
Thank you so much, Shalini, for that very important piece of information. I am hopeful that everyone had a wonderful session, and we'll keep sharing more such informative workshops on accelerating sustainable business growth. Stay tuned. Thank you once again.
Thank you.